Welcome back here to the newest edition of the Bobcat Buzz on Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse multimedia marketing partnership, exclusive here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And this Bobcat Buzz is featuring the women's basketball team, and no stranger to Wake Up Call, the head coach of the basketball team here for Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse women's basketball, Tae Baker. Tae, how you doing?
Dan, doing good. Dan, how's everything?
I'm doing very well. So D, I want to go back to D and what she said first off, because she was talking about how people have similar hair on the team, but she gave you the credit with the best hair. Who would you give it to?
Like D mentioned earlier, all of them have dreads, so I honestly can't pick one. I like all their styles. So Maggie doesn't have dreads, but yeah, I like how they do. I like how they do different hairstyles. That's what I try to do like the same thing.
How would you describe Deontay's personality?
D personality, I would say that she's very energetic, I would say she turns the team up. I would say she gets the team turned up. If I ever need anything, D is the one I'd like. D, you can make sure, or Maggie, you can make sure Destiny and a few of the players are up, so that's what I would say about D. I think her personality.
Okay, so she's the one that can get the team up.
Yep. All right. Gets the team going, her and Maggie.
Yep. Okay. How would you describe Destiny's personality?
Destiny is so funny because I always be telling my family about Destiny. As far as like she's very laid back, not saying she's very mature. All of them are mature, but I feel like she's very like, calm, laid back. If I need to ask her anything, she's like there to help too.
Okay. And Maggie, who calls herself Maggie Butter. How would you describe Maggie's personality?
Maggie is Maggie. Yes, they all have their own personalities, but as you can see from your last interview, Maggie is very turned up also. Like they said, she's like the mother of the team. She's like the mother of the team. The only issue I have with Maggie is her. She can never be on time.
Never be on time.
Never be on time. But everything else, yeah, is good.
How late is she on average?
On average.
You
hear the response.
I need to hold my phone up to get because Dee's eyes just came out of her sockets right now.
I would say about 10 or 15 minutes the most.
10 or 15 minutes on average.
On average, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want her to be somewhere at 8, what time do you tell her practice is if it was at 8?
I would say be up by 6:45. The bus gonna be there 7:15 at latest.
See, but this is what we used to do to my godmother, notoriously late. If we had dinner plans at 5:30, we would tell her dinner was at 4.
Okay.
Because we knew if dinner was at 4, that we might get there by 5:30.
Right.
But you couldn't tell her to be ready by 4.
Right.
You had to tell her that dinner was an hour and a half before it was in order to get her there.
Yep.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. That sounds about right. That's what I do with them. Yeah.
So Tae, they said you're funny. You have a fun personality. How do you switch it when you need the team to listen to leadership and you need the team to focus? How do you switch from funny and joking to, all right, guys, we got to focus now?
Practices has been a little different this year. So I haven't really had to turn it on and off yet. Yeah. So like a few of the players, like the new girls, they never even seen me like turn it on yet. Like D and Maggie probably see me. I know D for sure, but yeah, I feel like I just have to wait until October 24th for them to really see it, because it's game time then. Right now, like I said, practices is a little different right now because of numbers and things like that. So I haven't really had to, get on top of them just yet.
How would you describe yourself as a coach on the sideline? Loud, quiet, let something kind of happen, or are you out there making yourself heard? Because I watch you and I watch Clay, and I like to kind of see how you both attack the sidelines here at Bryant Stratton. How would you describe yourself?
I would say that I'm very like locked into the game. I seen how Coach Clay how he handles the game when he in the game. But as far as myself, I'm very like laid back. Like when one of our players score, I'm very like turned up. I'm excited. I'm very into the game. I'm a basketball player myself, so I just like to see my team happy. If they're running up and down, smiling and happy, I'm usually with them.
Who is the person on the team, yourself included, that you think would have the loudest reaction to an official?
Um,
Because I feel like you're more.
yeah, I'm more chill. I
Yeah.
would ask
I
them
don't think
stuff
I've
like that.
ever seen you respond in like a height, and like it would take a lot. If I was coaching, it would take a lot
Hmm.
for me. But if it was like the end of the game
Hmm.
and you call a foul with 0.2 seconds left, they're probably gonna have to keep me on the sideline.
Right, right.
So who on your team is gonna say the most to an official?
I would probably say D. I think it's D, yeah, because D's very locked into the game. I haven't
Yeah.
seen Destiny and Amari and a few of the other girls play, the new girls. But as far as D, I've seen her play, when she's locked into the game and she's locked in. So if a ref calls a call and she think is wrong, she would, I think she would come to me, but she would probably respond, to the ref like, ref, what kind of call was that? But out the D,
Yeah.
like Maggie said, come on, time out, bring it on.
Bring it over.
Yep. Bring it in, y'all.
How have you learned to evolve as a coach? What do you think about your coaching has gotten better?
What has gotten better was, like I said last year, I mentioned it a lot, but like trying to get more organized. I feel like being a little bit more organized, it just helps out. It just helps everything flow better. Last year we didn't have too many team bindings. This year we already had two, and the season didn't even start. And I plan on doing more team bindings so the team could stick together.
Do you
So with the
feel like
season.
you feel like having those moments where they can spend time together off the court and get to know each other, where it's just going to eat or going to a movie or bowling or whatever? Do you feel like those experiences help to change your culture maybe at a more rapid pace when they
Mhm.
have more time together?
Yeah, I think that's very important for them to hang out outside of basketball, to really get to know each other. I just think that what keeps a team together, and I feel like that's what make a team go, a long way. Like if you see the teams that win championships and stuff like that, like LSU, I just started watching women's a lot more. But with them winning, I feel like their team bonding, or like team chemistry
Yeah.
is like out the roof. I just feel like everybody, even when they do like their TikTok videos and things like that, I tune into that. Like they really like team, got real good team chemistry.
You've been all about posting videos, putting
Hmm.
music out there, showing your team.
Hmm.
What can you say about this team's style? When you mentioned LSU and whatnot, how would you describe this style of the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats women's basketball team when we look at how you kind of want to show yourself to the public?
Hmm.
Because it's important what you put out there. So how do you kind of envision what this team looks like on social media?
Um, what I envision with this team, like I really do believe that we're going to be successful this year. So I try to, pretty much like speaking into existence, like with the videos, like always promoting us on social media. I really do feel like we got a good team. The numbers isn't, we don't have a lot of numbers, but we got, what is it? Quality, So I really think we got something special this year. You know.
What makes you believe this team can be that special squad this year?
Because we have a good amount of returners coming back, and then the new players that came in, I feel like they're gonna have a big role and they're ready to fill that big role. You know, I just feel like we're all locked in. We all know that we don't have a huge team, so
Yeah.
we know we just, we gotta stick together.
Now, numbers wise, how does that happen that you have a smaller roster, not by height, but by numbers?
Mhm.
Is that just kind of like, hey, we put a net out there to cast and some things didn't work out in time,
Mhm.
or we looked in these certain areas and not other areas? Like, what do you think kind of put together the roster this year?
Um, what put together the roster, like you said,
As far as like numbers wise, where you're at,
Mhm.
like why you have the team that you have?
I feel like a lot of the girls came by word of mouth. A friend of a friend, like one of our returners knew one of the players, and then I had a new player come, which was Destiny, and she brought her really close friend.
Yeah.
So this year it was kind of like word of mouth. Last year was a crazy season. So everyone knew that came back, and this year we all came together and said this is going to be our get back year. And the numbers might not be there yet, but next year when everybody see our record and how good we do this year, next year is going to make it 10 times easier to bring in players and recruit.
So you feel like last year's adversity that was out of your control affected maybe recruiting wise, but you feel like you can jump over that hurdle?
Yes and no. I feel like it played a little part because a lot of the potential players that I did have, they asked about our record and what happened last year, and so I had to
because the record is really not the record.
It's not the record.
I mean, he had in his first season as a head coach, Tae Baker put together an incredible team last year, a team that could vie for a national championship, and there was stuff that happens off the court and that affected the record. But ultimately, if you all came out to the games, I mean, there was games where you win by 50.
Right.
So,
yep. And that's why I plan on getting back this year,
So when you look at the numbers of this team, what about this roster and the makeup that you have, even if you don't have as deep of a bench, why is this team so capable of making a run?
I really feel like this team this year, and not taking credit from last year because I love my team last year, but I feel like this year, they came in ready to to be coachable. They're coachable players. They're ready to just learn every day. Like with Destiny, and not to keep bringing up Destiny, but she plays point guard. That's my position. I feel like she wants to learn, and Deja, Deja White, awesome player. But I feel like they want to come in and learn what I know because they kind of did they history, on myself. So, my goal is to teach them what I know, and all the other players are just locked in. I just love that about them this year.
So that coming from Tae Baker and this Bobcat Buzz. Let's jump into rapid fire.
Yes.
You get two, I get two. You get to ask me the first one.
Okay, so my first one is, what is your deepest fear?
Well, I said I really don't have fears, but I guess I would say I never thought that I would be at this point in my life and not be married and be a dad yet. So not a fear, but more of I wonder in this world with the way that people are today, that I know so many good people. The dating world, though, seems to be very selfish, very like almost scheduling like a doctor's appointment, dating apps where you can just like look through people like groceries. I feel like a man like me gets lost in the shuffle because even if a woman were to give me the time of day, they feel like I don't exist because they think if there's a good man out there, there's a catch.
Right.
And some of us men just try to be good men because that's how we were raised and that's the God I believe in. So I would say it's not a fear. It's more of like wondering if in today's world you can find someone who would appreciate a good man and a good woman. Because this world seems very superficial right now.
I like that.
My question for you, Tae, what's your favorite part of being a father?
My favorite part of being a father.
And shout her out too. I want you to give her a shout out.
Yes. So to my beautiful daughter, Mariah,
who made her debut on broadcast anything last season on Wake Up Call.
Yes.
Mariah is awesome. So yeah. So what's your favorite part of being a dad to Mariah?
Just being able to let her do what it is that she likes to do. I didn't have that as a kid. I love basketball, so I was able to play basketball because of the local parks.
Yeah.
But she's into dancing, and that costs money, and I'm just yeah, and it's not cheap. So I'm just, that's one of the best parts of being able to let her do what it is she loves to do. She loves dancing. So she don't like basketball or anything like that. So just seeing a smile on her face, just being able to be there, just everything about being a father, honestly, is what I love.
I appreciate that.
Wouldn't change that for the world.
Awesome. I like that answer. What's your last one for me?
My last one, I actually have it. I have it right here.
See, he came prepared
I
this
came
time.
prepared today.
I knew it. I was like, he's going to be writing them down, watching his student athletes do this. He's going to have notes, and he
Yep.
does. He's got notes on his phone.
Yes. So if you
I can't see him though. I didn't look.
Yes. So if you can go back to your childhood
Yeah.
and relive any moment, what would it be?
The first 6 years of my life with my grandfathers because they passed away when I was 6.
Wow. Sorry.
So I would just go back to being a little kid and not have to leave them.
Mm-hmm.
I would do that.
Okay.
All right,
Like
Tay.
like that.
If you could go forward in history or backward in history,
Mm-hmm.
if you could jump in a time machine and go anywhere in the future or the past, where would you go and why?
I would probably go back to the past just so I can see a few family members and friends that, you know, passed on and relive high school basketball again. There's so many things I would do if I'm going to past.
Okay.
So
Should go back to the past.
yes.
Yeah. Because the past is better.
The past is
The
better.
past is better. We need to work toward a positive present so that we can appreciate it when it becomes our past. So with that being said, for this edition of the Bobcat Buzz, on our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, this has been our women's basketball spotlight with the head coach of the team, Tae Baker. Tae, as always, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
For being here, man.
Appreciate you, and we'll talk with you soon.
Sounds good.